Thursday, 30th of January 2025, and the US market has just opened. Sadly, I had recorded a whole video for the morning session, and for some reason it didn't record my microphone, and I didn't notice it until I started editing the video and I noticed that it had no audio. So I have a full video of the session but without any audio. Apologies for that, but as a quick recap, I followed several planned entries. And we lost in both the DAX off the second 15-minute bar. It was a bit unfortunate, just stopped out before a reversal. And in the Dow, kind of similar to yesterday's EU session, I went long off the first 15-minute bar, added to my position, let both trades run, and then we had a strong reversal. I also have a long position order here, but I don't think it's gonna get filled now, so I'm gonna turn it down. I also traded a bit post FOMC announcement yesterday and made a bit of money in the Dow here. Also had another attempt here, but hit break even. So this was this morning, and the Bitcoin trade that I had didn't work out. Probably it wasn't the best idea to place it right before FOMC, but the entry model is solid and I'll use it again when I have another opportunity, and I will talk about it at some point. I was in a bit of profit, so I think risking a bit more was fine. Perhaps the only mistake, like I said, was doing it before FOMC, even though the setup itself was quite strong. Perhaps I should have reconsidered, but that's in the past now, so we'll just focus on the entries for this US session. I also had 2 trades in gold this morning. Off the first 15-minute bar, break to the upside, went long, added to my position here, and these were the exits. I did manual exits, one of them before the news that happened 1 hour before market opened, the US market opened. It was GDP data and the jobless claims, and I left one for after the news, and I just closed it here. A decent profit in both. Sadly, the morning was a loss overall because mainly of the Dow trades, but also the DAX trades. Oh, and I forgot about the UK 100 trade. It was a short position because we went below the first 5-minute bar, which is a positive bar. So this is a setup. It's called first bar positive in the UK 100, and it's a setup that's highly researched, and I've taken it a million times, but obviously nothing works all the time. So we did hit our stop, and that was that for the morning session. This is the live balance, and I'm waiting for the completion of the second 5-minute bar in the Dow to take my first trade of the US session. I'm going to adjust the sizing a bit here, and we'll adjust it further once the bar completes, and I'll see what sizing I need to respect the maximum 0.5% risk per trade. With that in mind, I'll pause you. I'm looking towards the second 15-minute bars in gold and the DAX for this session. The first 15-minute bar in the NASDAQ, the second 5-minute bar completion in the Dow, and the fourth 15-minute bar in the SPX, which will come later. So these are the positions I am tracking for today, and I'll pause you now and bring you back in a few minutes. Placed my orders above and below the second 5-minute bar in the Dow, long above, short below. kind of invalidated this fair value gap here. So probably a long position would favor us going all the way up, at least all the way up to the highs of London session. But let's see if we get a fill long in the first place. I will be following regardless of fill here. And with gold, we are very close to the all-time highs here. I was talking about this in the morning session, but sadly you couldn't see it. That when I entered here, when I entered long here, I was saying that this area here will very likely act as a magnet, and I even marked the all-time highs, and I said that it will probably act as a magnet, and we might touch it today. But obviously with the target I went just a bit below to be on the safer side. Now obviously anything can happen in the rest of the session. This first 15-minute bar break in gold has been very good recently. Obviously it's not going to work every day, and nothing is going to work every day, but over the past few weeks this has worked very well, so I believe that this is a profitable entry at this point in time. Same thing goes for the first 15-minute bar in the Nasdaq. So it's below 100 points right now, which is very nice. I would hope that it remains this way until its completion. It will allow me to use this sizing, which I prefer for the Nasdaq for the US session. Yesterday I had to take it lower size because it was quite a big bar, but it hit, if you remember, or if you've watched the video. Okay, so I will wait for the completion of the first 15-minute bars for gold and the Nasdaq, and we'll also wait and bring you back for a fill in the Dow. The first 15-minute bar has completed, and I've placed buy and sell orders below and above the first 15-minute bar in both Nasdaq and gold. Had to go for a bit smaller size because of the size of the bar here for gold, but that's fine. And now we'll wait for a fill in all of these indices, and we'll also wait for the completion of the second 15-minute bar in the DAX, which is now just starting to form. So this is my procedure here. I researched several entry models, mechanical entry models, where I wait for a completion of a certain candle on a certain time frame that I research. And my theory is that we get into cycles when a break of that specific candle returns a profit over time. So if you take those entries in the appropriate cycles, you will make money over time. And I diligently research and track these entries. So when you see me taking one of these entries, it is because it has been profitable in the past few days, weeks, and even months to do so. Just placing my stop in the spot where the sell order was, removing the sell order, and now I will be hoping for a move upwards. So looking here on the daily time frame, where do I believe we could reasonably place a target? Well, I'm looking for this gap fill, to be honest with you, right now. Let's go on the 4-hour. Just below this gap fill, I think, is a very nice target. Obviously, we are now testing previous day high, which is marked on my charts by this blue bar, this blue channel actually. I have a script for this, or an extension, however we want to call it. And this is previous day high, and this is previous day low for this index. I have this for all 6 indices that I'm trading on a daily basis. I trade these 6 exact indices, and very, very rarely I will take some swing positions in Bitcoin like you saw yesterday. So a very nice initial reaction in the Nasdaq here, but obviously we're still quite a long way off. So we are risking $42 to hopefully make 70. And I've placed the target using the daily chart and basically looking at structure. But what I'll do now is I will check my spreadsheet and see how many points I've made in the Nasdaq when this strategy has worked. So I've made at most 120 points. I made 110 points once, and I've made 90 points a couple of times, 70 points, 80 points a couple of times. So with that in mind, let us now see from the point of entry. So it's 21,554. Where would 100 points be? So 100 points would be here. So I'm targeting, my target is a bit optimistic then. So that would mean that this would be a more appropriate target in relation to what the historical data is telling me for recent weeks. So this would be a more appropriate target, but again, looking at the structure, I do think that if we get to this point, we are going to make an attempt higher. So let's just go in between my original target and my data-based target, and I will target just this spot here, and I think that is reasonable. So now I am targeting $62 and risking $42. And we have gotten filled here in the Dow as well. So I've placed the stop loss right below the candle, risking 52, so just a bit above what I want to risk, but I want to keep the full sizing here, which is 0.5 for the US session for Dow and Nasdaq. And I think that going for just a 1-to-1 here is fine. So risking 52 to make 55. I think that's appropriate because we do see the Dow a lot of times reverse, initially at least, when we hit the high of London session after we have visited the lows. So I'm happy to just take a nice TP here if we do get there. Okay, decent initial reaction. We'll stay positive here. And also we're waiting for a fill in gold, and also waiting to see the second 15-minute bar completed in the DAX. So I'll pause you a bit for now, and hopefully I bring you back to a new fill and perhaps a TP if we're lucky. So we got filled long. In gold, placed the order below, and just targeting 7 points here, or actually 7.5 points. I'm not gonna be too greedy with gold. It has rallied all day, for one, and secondly, when I've won on this entry, it's usually been either 7, 8, 9, or 10 points. So I'm gonna go towards the lower end of that just because we've been rallying all day, and we might eventually just get a bit tired here, and I don't want to target too high because of that. We do have a bit of a pullback here in the Nasdaq and in the Dow. I mean, this isn't something that's too unexpected, but there you go. we still wouldn't have hit TP on the researched entry of 100 points. So it would have been here. Kind of a big retrace, so as it stands, we have rated the highs of London session and the highs of yesterday as well, and are retracing back into the range. This in itself generally is a short signal, but our mechanical entry takes priority. And considering we're still quite a bit off our stop here, there's no reason to do anything. We'll just let things run and hope that market reverses again, which it can definitely do. But we'll see. Letting everything run and staying patient and calm is the key to executing this strategy of mechanical entries. I have research that shows that these entries are profitable over time, so no reason to panic or close early. And if they don't work out, they don't work out today. So I'll pause you for now and let things play out here, and we'll see. Hopefully we can resume the rally. And if we do, like if we go above previous day high again here, I might even add to the position in the Nasdaq. We'll see. And we just got stopped out here. So we took out the highs and now we're taking out the lows. Unfortunate, but like I said, no reason to close early, even though, like I said, closing back into the range here is a sell signal. At most we had like 70 points. I decided to go for more, so that's fine. Sometimes you are gonna lose when you're ambitious and try to go for more, but I think if you teach yourself to be afraid and close trades early, in the long run you'll lose more than when you just let things unfold. So the question here is, should we buy this bottom in the Nasdaq? This looks obviously very enticing here. We're going below. Okay, going long here. We just went below today's low, and I'm starting to see a bit of a reaction, a bit of a push by buyers, so I entered. And I'm going to use say a 70-point stop loss, so risking 35. I'm actually gonna just target the highs here, almost a double top. So $83 target, risking 35. So this isn't a mechanical entry, this is obviously a structure-based price action entry where I look at price action. We took out the top of the range, we took out the low of the range, and now I'm waiting to see if buyers are stepping in now, and I've seen an initial reaction went long, and now I'm betting that we will fully reverse here. We're still in an uptrend, so this isn't me catching a knife by any means, and we're still probably gonna be attracted to fill the gap here. So that's also in my mind. There hasn't really been anything to invalidate this uptrend. So gonna be patient here. This is the live P&L. Gold is attempting to go higher, and we were a bit lucky not to get stopped out in the Dow, so we'll allow this to run. I do have another entry in the Dow, and it's the break of this range. But I am already long, and I don't plan to add right now in the Dow. However, this does look like nice demand here in this area, so if we go back above here and close above this wick, I will be fully confident that we can hit TP here. Let's see, I'll let things play out again. And I just realized I missed the entry in the DAX here, because I was paying too much attention to these positions. I should have been short here in the DAX based off the break of the second 15-minute bar. Now obviously I'm not going to enter short here, even if we are at the same spot, just because this price action now doesn't really support a short that much. We've rated the lows and are going back into the range. So if I miss an entry, I'm just gonna generally just gonna let it slide, because more often than not, when an entry works well, it immediately goes in your favor and it doesn't show this much weakness. So if you're short here in the DAX now, this doesn't really look great, especially considering we're at all-time highs in the DAX. I mean, this is the daily outlook, this is the weekly outlook. I mean, this has been super bullish, so I mean, if we close above previous day high here, I might be tempted to just go long in the DAX, so look out for that. Just gotta stay patient as usual. Next entry will be off the break of the fourth 15-minute bar, which hasn't even started to form yet, so it will be the next bar. Yeah, I'll manage these positions and stay patient and bring you back when we have something of interest. Went long here in the DAX. Like I said, we closed back into the range after raiding the lows here. So I am just gonna respect my maximum risk here, $50, and we'll actually let this one run. We are at all-time highs. At the very least, I'm expecting a higher high. So let's see. And look at the UK index. Bit unfortunate this morning, I didn't take the long position off the second 15-minute bar, which was part of my plan, because I was still short on a different entry, which was the break of the first positive 5-minute bar. So I was short from here, and my stop was around here. And I didn't want to instantly switch directions if that didn't work. So I should have been long from here, but yeah, that's what happened, and it was kind of unfortunate, but missed out. I wouldn't have caught this entire move, of course, but I would have probably targeted somewhere around here. And we revisited the lows here again, and once again buyers are stepping in. Now I do think that a bullish close back into the range here is an add-on for sure for the Nasdaq here. And the fourth 5-minute bar, the fourth 15-minute bar in the SPX is also forming, and I will enter that as well once it completes. So this is the outlook for now. We're staying patient, calm, and executing our plan regardless of what happens, and we'll see where we end up. I'm adding to my long position in the Nasdaq here. So we rated again and come back into the range. I'm not going to wait for the close because I just think that the move looks strong. And I'm going to place the stop loss to the add-on here, and the original stop loss I am bringing it up as well, because we really shouldn't see price come back down again. If we do see it come back down again, I do think we are heading lower, and basically I'm going to be losing pretty much the same amount if we get stopped out here, but I have double the sizing if I'm right. So I think that's clearly a good deal, and I'm going to adjust the take profits to just the high of London session as well. So I think this is pretty sensible. So let's see, gold is marching forward, and DAX initial reaction is nice. I want to see what happens when we reach London highs in the DAX. And the Dow is ranging quite a lot here. It's rare that you see the Dow in such a tight range after the open. But again, we need to stay patient, like I always say. And hopefully you can stay above here. This is a nice opportunity to make more if we're right. Now it's in the hands of the market, really. So with that being said, I will pause you again here. And if we do get stopped out, which is looking a bit more likely here. Like the second I've entered long, we started retracing. That's never a good sign. Can happen sometimes, of course, but look, like almost to the second when I went long, we started selling. But again, I've explained my thought process here, and I think it's sound execution. We're giving ourselves a chance to make more on this trade when we're right, and we lose pretty much the same when we're wrong. And if we're wrong, like I said, we're likely going lower, at least to like this area or this area. So I think this is super worth. But it's looking like we will probably get stopped out here. We've hung around too long near the lows here. Usually when the buyers are strong, it just gets immediately bought that you almost don't even have time to buy in. Once again, we're attempting to go back up, so there is some demand here, but it just doesn't feel like it's as strong as you need it to be or you want it to be when you do the play that I've just made, but let's see. There's a fight going on here, so let's hope our side wins it. No more we can do there. So letting everything play out, and I'll bring you back when we have something. So we did get stopped out. Let's just see it here. Yeah, and I think we're going lower now. I'm obviously not going to enter another trade here. I tried a price action trade, it didn't work out. I do think we're going lower, so what we did was increase our overall expected value, losing the same amount had I left the original trade without an add-on. we would have probably gone lower and clipped it and lost the same amount, but this way we just gave ourselves a chance to make more when we're right. So say we're in the same situation 100 more times and I do the same thing, I expect us to make more money overall when I add to the trade and raise the stop loss there than when I leave it to run. So that's the logic behind that, and now I'll just keep managing these trades. So SPX is going below the fourth 15-minute bar here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is a short here. The only issue is that I kind of placed too big of a size here. So it's risking 74, which really isn't good here. So I will just take one off here. Even if we're in a bit of a loss here on the position, but yeah, I do need to leave the stop loss here. Just waiting to see if I get a bit lucky to exit. I mean to close on a better price, but looks like we want to push back up here a bit now. Okay, so I'm just going to take one off here. And it's still a bit too much. So we'll leave it like this. And target like 18 points here. Let's see what happens. Another mechanical entry. And 18 points is what I usually make on this entry. So we'll let things run again and hope for a better outcome. I'll bring you back. I have added to my DAX here. Decided to be a bit aggressive because this reaction looks very strong here, and again we're at all-time highs. So while of course we can always reverse at the top here, I mean the market is strong and we're in a super strong uptrend, that I do believe it's more likely that we keep going up than just getting stuck here and reversing. So I'm targeting 74 and $47 and risking 50 and 50. That was also kind of double topping here, but after we ranged here, this was a strong reaction, so I do hope we just touch this TP, which will sweeten the session a bit, because it's not been easy. And gold is looking good as well. And we entered mechanically short here and immediately reversed. And this also reversed quite shortly after going quite a bit lower. So it just looks like a bit of bad luck and bad timing for the SPX and NASDAQ. But let's see. So we've just gone above London high in the DAX, and we just need to see some follow through here now. Hopefully, would be nice. Yeah, tough sessions today, both of them, from a mechanical standpoint, but you're gonna get these days, like I said. just gotta keep at it, keep up with your plan and your research, and trust that your system is working in the long run, because if you don't believe that, then you will likely start making mistakes and start taking poor entries or try to change up too much. So I'll let these run. A little bit of resistance here, a little bit of a fight. Hopefully we don't just raid the top of London session and fully reverse here in the DAX like we did the Nasdaq. It's a lot stronger when it happens like this later in the session, especially after we've raided the lows of the session here, even though we didn't raid the full lows. I think this is quite strong. So I'm quite optimistic that we will hit here, but let's see. And this likely means that if we keep strength here, we're likely going to get stopped out here, but this is more like a hedge now. So let's see, I will pause you and bring you back. So quite an eventful turn of events here. Quite an eventful turn of events, maybe not the best expression. We did hit TP in gold here. But yeah, not a huge target, and the sizing had to be small because of the trigger bar, but I'm fine with it. SPX went against us, not that close to stopping us out, but quite close, and then reversed completely and made a lower low, as did the Nasdaq. So again, like I said, I would have gotten stopped out on the original entry, so I just increased my expected value by doing the add-on and raising the stop loss. Luckily, this move hasn't really dragged the DAX much lower, and we're still in the Dow trade as well. This is quite a tight range, but I do feel like there is a chance we get out alive here. If we just stay in this channel now, which we might very well do. We're somehow in profit in the SPX here with this trade, which is kind of amazing. But let's see. Yeah, a bit of a tough market to read, I would say. And overall a tough day, but those days will happen a lot of the times, so you just have to be prepared and accept it and look at your execution. And if you feel you've executed well and you know, haven't gotten in trades because of frustration, and you followed your plan and everything is fine in that area, then it's just another day at the office. So I will continue monitoring these positions. I don't have any other trades for the day, so it's going to be just managing these positions. And we'll see what happens and how we end the day here. So I'll pause you now and bring you back when we're closer to a resolution. So we have gotten lower here and gotten closer to the TP, but then bounced back up a bit again. I think it's proper to lower the risk here, and I'm just gonna place the stop back into London range here. I would expect this to hold if we are to go lower again one more time. But I am a bit aware of the fact that, again, we are in a huge uptrend, and we've been kind of bearish at this open, and I do expect the bounce to happen at one point. So I don't want to lose the full amount here. Again, I think my decision making on the Nasdaq has been fully vindicated here. and fully proven correct. Look where I exited. So on the days when we don't move lower and we don't hit stop loss, I will just make double the amount. Yeah, that was the update for now, and I'll bring you back when I have more. Something extra I wanted to add, because I did have quite a bad day in NASDAQ and in the Dow so far, getting stopped out earlier of my longs and ranging now forever since my entry off the second 5-minute bar. But I do want to also show that I've had a pretty good day in gold compared to yesterday. Yesterday I had 2 losing trades, long here and short. Actually, no, long here and short here. The short was successful in the US session, but long here, exiting here, and long here again, exiting here. So a very nice day in gold, just by following my mechanical entries. So that's how it looks, and it varies, and sometimes it looks great and you feel like everything's perfect and everything's working well, and other times you just get unlucky or market just goes against you. And what's important to remember is that you're executing a long-term strategy and you've researched the strategy, you've backtested, and you know that it works over time. So that's why individual results on any given day don't really matter. Now I realize that we're kind of hanging around for some time now without making too much progress on the account, but that's also going to happen a lot of the times. You're just going to go through a period where you don't make a lot of headway or you even lose. And how you manage those periods is what makes the difference. So that being said, I'm observing price action and we are going back in the right direction in the DAX, so hopefully we can break out now and maybe do the same in the Dow. So I will pause you again and bring you back. Well, I let things run here and it does look like I'm gonna get stopped out of the SPX, but we did get lucky not to get stopped out in the Dow here, so maybe that's the silver lining. Hopefully we can finally move forward here, and once again we're at this level in the DAX, and I'm just hoping that we can finally take it out. We exited in gold at pretty much the high almost, so this is why I didn't really want to target much more, and I just relied on what the data showed me was the most likely outcome, because we've been quite bullish all day, so a little bit of retracement is due. I didn't want to push it too far, so that was fine. Hopefully this reprieve in the Dow here doesn't go to waste and we can actually move to the highs of London session. But let's see. I'm going to still be patient here and hope for the best. So we have finally gone above here, made a new high in the DAX. And I'm just going to hope it continues going upward, but it's not looking that great right now. I will bring up the other stop loss upwards, because we shouldn't be seeing this level again, and if we do, there's no point in losing extra money. So we're just like 16 to 20 points away from both targets. Yeah, let's see. So patience finally paid off here in the DAX. We went to both TPs and hit. Let me just show you here. So another case of an add-on working. You've also seen cases of add-ons not working. Most recent being the Dow from this morning. Again, I'm sorry that I don't have it on video, but this was it. Oh, I mean, sorry, that was from yesterday. This was it here. But I didn't let that discourage me from adding to another position here. And the DAX is at all-time high, so this could continue, but I think I set a decent target. It wasn't unambitious, it wasn't a small target. We hit, so I'm happy to go out there. And I just have one more trade here that I'll let run. I think I can disperse with this channel now. And just hoping that it will also hit the TP. We're gonna make a third attempt to break out of this area, and resistance should be weaker here, so I think there's every opportunity to hit this TP as well. And if we hit that TP, we will actually finish the day in profit, which would be quite amazing considering the run of bad trades we've had. If I'm being honest, the day started quite difficultly. I mean, look at this, 5 in a row lost, then a few wins, and then a few losses in a row again. So this is why it's important to stick to your plan and don't panic and don't try to make back losses. Just stick to your plan, keep executing, and if it's a bad day, it's a bad day. But if you can, at the end of the day, say, look, I've executed everything and I've entered every trade based on a plan, and they didn't work out, then that's fine. It's important to just manage risk and keep your account safe and keep track of the losses, of course. So on FTMO, we can't lose more than $500 in a day on a $10,000 account. So that was never in question. I need to lose 10 trades and not win any, 10 full trades to hit 500. So, but yeah, I will actually just finish the video here. We're not that far off, but this could take a while still. And I just want to wrap this video up. I will show you the result tomorrow. For this entry, I'm not going to move anything. I'm not going to move the stop loss, not going to move the take profit. We were definitely lucky here to not get stopped out. But as we've seen in other circumstances where we just got stopped out, this evens out in time. So with that being said, I do hope you've enjoyed this video, and hopefully my audio recorded this time. And if you like this type of content, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. I try to post videos daily, and I show you a completely reasonable and mechanical way of trading, something that everyone can learn to do. And I talk about how I research these entries, and I show my entries, and I show all of my results. So hopefully this can teach you something, or inspire you, or help you out to become a better trader. Obviously, everything that you see here isn't financial advice. It's just me journaling my entries and my thought process and my methodology. So take everything just for informational purposes, and I will see you tomorrow for the London session. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.